And now the children have a special presentation and story for all ages.
I am going to introduce for a moment because we're very excited to be here. And in January and February, there's a lot of shifting around and people are, we've got skiers and so forth. And so the cast has been solidified as of this morning. So I'm going to announce our cast, and the whole goal was coming out of the holiday pageant. We wanted to be able to do something just light and short and fun, but to build on the energy of that really fun production. So Regina Millis came up with this vision of let's do this, let's do the Tortoise and the Hare, and we've been workshopping it together, and it's been really fun to kind of come up with the script. And we have Declan today is our announcer, Terry Dactyl. Richard is our field reporter, Joey Conga. Heidi is our hare, Swifty O'Hare. Lola is the tortoise, Shelley Tardy. I am going to be on betting and merchandise, Vinnie Vulture. Lila is on merchandise, Rita Raccoon. And since Ruby is sick today, Kim very graciously stepped in as our juice vendor, Penny Prairie Dog. And I invite the cast up for the Tortoise and the Hare.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first interspecies track race. Sponsored by Friendly Forest Toys and Golden Root Carrot Juice brands. For Animal Planet, I'm your host, Terry Dactyl, and my co-host down on the field, Joey Conga. This race has been a long time coming, as we know. Our racers are friends, but also fierce rivals. And she only agreed because the proceeds are going to an animal rights charity. Now, let's meet our stars. For Reptiles, winner of the year's last Carrot Race Cup, Shell Tardy. And for the mammals, the legendary track race veteran, Swifty O'Hare. Without further ado, let's start the race.
Step right up, folks. Get your official race merchandise. Turtle hats for the slow and funny ears for the fast and the flashy, and don't forget, place your bets. All odds are on Swifty O'Hare, but you never know. For you superstars, special discount, double the price.
I'll take it there. Oh, and put me down for a big bet. On myself, of course.
All right, you got it. Shelley, want in on the action? Odds aren't in your favor, but hey, you never know.
No, can't stop. Gotta keep going.
Hi, I'm Anaconda from InStyle Reptile Magazine. May I ask who you're wearing?
It's my design.
Lovely, lovely. Good luck in the race.
Let's grab us. Let's grab us.
From InStyle Magazine. May I ask who you're wearing?
Let's grab a selfie with our fearless competitors. Shelley, time for a quick selfie? All right then, Swifty. Let's grab one for the fans. Time for a quick interview?
Well, sure.
All right then. How'd you get your start in racing?
Oh, natural talent, speed in my DNA, plus a little inspiration from my great-grandhare, Lightning Lou.
Amazing. And what's your workout routine?
Oh, you want to see? Check this out.
Oh. And your diet?
Simple. Oh, lots of carrot juice, tons of fresh lettuce. Gotta stay light and fast. Oh, gotta go.
Ice cold carrot juice, freshly squeezed, race day special.
Carrot juice, say no more.
First one to their house, Ferrari star. So, how's it going? What's the end going?
Good. I feel so refreshed. Maybe I'll just take a...
Hopefully Swifty wakes back up to continue the race. Oh, Shelly's in the lead.
And Swifty's dreaming about lettuce.
Oh.
And that's a major upset, folks. All odds were on Swifty, but Shelly has triumphed.
And on behalf of Animal Planet, bless the beasts.
That's a wrap, folks.
We will take a bow. Everybody on screen, ready? Everybody come on up. All right, thank you.
Good morning. My name's Jack Butterworth, and I'm here this morning to talk to you about why I pledge. Why I pledge. And this is an unusual morning in a way. I was sitting in the fellowship hall, going over notes, figuring out what I was going to say, and a lady came through the fellowship hall doors and asked me, "Where's the sanctuary?" Between last night's story hour and this morning's getting ready for the pledge drive refreshments, we didn't have somebody in the foyer saying, "Hi." So I apologize a little because I was going through my notes and I didn't say, "Hi, I'm Jack Butterworth and welcome to our church," and all that. The lady in question asked, "Where's the sanctuary?" And I said, "Well, you see the church is laid out this way and you go through this hall and you'll reach the sanctuary." And that was it. But since I'm talking about pledging this morning, it's occurred to me I'm not just talking to a lot of people here that come here regularly, and maybe some of you, I apologize, have heard this story before, but I'm talking to a newcomer who hasn't been here before, and I'm sorry, you picked an interesting Sunday to come because you had this great play with the kids. And hopefully that was entertaining, watching them go through the hare and the tortoise story. And now we're going to talk to you about money. Gee whiz. There's a lot to hit you with at first. So let me divide it up for you. When you talk about a pledge drive, you're talking about money, it's true, and you're talking about value. Value. What does this church mean to you in terms of being a community? And I can speak to that pretty directly. I joined the church in 1968, and honestly, pledging did not make that big a difference to me until about 1985. I was divorced. I was pretty broke, living on what I had left after I paid my child support. And I was living in an apartment in Marblehead, which sounds great, but it was somebody's refurbished attic that was cheap enough that I could live there. And basically, I was doing my own income tax because the guy that had done my income tax and my wife's income tax had retired the same year we got divorced. And I figured it was probably cheaper if I did it myself. And that was kind of torture back in 1985, but I took it on and I managed to figure it all out. And it occurred to me when I did that, you know, charitable donations, church pledges, etc., counted as money off of your income tax in those days, for sure. And it occurred to me I could give money to Ronald Reagan for SDI, which some of you recall as Star Wars, a project that never really got anywhere but managed to bankrupt the Soviet Union, and that's a whole story for another time. I could give money to Reagan for his ideas, or I could give money to the church. Okay, the church was a community of friends. It was the one community I could really count on every week. I could come here and feel known and appreciated. And there were things we can do. Now, this is especially for the person that asked me where the sanctuary was. If you go to the last page in your order of service, we list a whole bunch of programs that the church offers. And we have things like Dungeons and Dragons role-playing for young people. That's probably not something that grown-ups would get involved in, but we have drum magic Sundays. We have Tai Chi classes and a wisdom circle, genealogy discussion, a dialogue group, a plant-based cooking group. If I ever start to cook, I think I'll study plant-based cooking just because it sounds interesting. No, really, I'm not just saying that. Well, I am, but I am, but it is, it is interesting. We have a craft circle, we have meditation, and we have a group that started out discussing On Tyranny, a great book, which I myself read, and one takeaway from it: don't surrender in advance. Great line, wonderful. And we continue to discuss the principles in that book or on Tuesday afternoons, most Tuesdays. And yes, as a group, in April, we're all going to Ferry Beach. And that's a great trip. For those of you that have never been there, it's in Saco, Maine. It's on the coast. And it's a wonderful place just to get away for a whole weekend and smell salt air and walk on sand and just feel like, that there's a lot of positive things going on out there that you don't have to think about when you're not watching news on television. And I need to say no more. We offer a lot to people, and these things, of course, are supported by your pledges every year. So please give what you can. Maybe think about giving a little more than you have. And to our guests today, please think about coming back. because we love having you. And by the way, we are having our drive refreshments today. Part of it is a sheet cake, which I provide for most major board events on Sunday. You can have a piece of cake. Nobody's looking. Nobody's going to judge you. And that goes for everybody else here, I'm sure. So thank you for listening, and please support our pledge drive.
The Echo clergy group that meets once a month has been reading Adrienne Marie Brown's book on emergent strategy. And it's okay if you're not familiar with that term. I'd like to share some of the principles of emergent strategy with you at a later time, but I think you can appreciate this reading without knowing much about that philosophy. My friend Gibran Rivera once articulated a question to me. What is the next most elegant step? Oh, I love this question. Too often we come up with plans that don't take into account the fog on the horizon. Then we go off and the work doesn't happen, perhaps can't happen. And then we feel demoralized because our energy doesn't flow into action. An elegant step is one that acknowledges what is known and unknown, and what the capacity of this group actually is. And she is a Black feminist organizer doing social justice work and all kinds of community building. An elegant step allows humility, allows people to say, actually, we need to do some research. Or actually, we need to talk to some folks not in this room. Or actually, we need a full day to build this plan out into something realistic and attainable. In any conversation, and I would say in any moment in life, there is a next elegant step, one that is possible and strategic, based on who is taking it and where they are trying to go. Find it, and you cannot fail. Here ends the reading. So in the original Tortoise and the Hare Aesop's fable, with the version that Chris originally gave me, the hare is mocking the turtle and going, saying, are you joking me? You should race me and even try, because as you know, I will just whip you completely. And the tortoise is like, no, I think I could do this. And so there's a lot of sarcasm and a lot of goading. And then, of course, the tortoise is so certain of his supremacy that he just lays down and to take a nap in the middle of the race. And, of course, as you know, the tortoise just plods along and ends up winning. If only the hare hadn't mocked the tortoise. That's the crux of the story for me, though. It's that mocking, the certainty that tortoise could never win a race against him. That is a bad idea. That's a bad attitude. I'm glad that he had his fuzzy little feet handed to him. I'm always go turtle in that reading. This was a really fun rendition, though. But without the nasty sarcasm and outsized ego, Hare types in general are great. They're the ones who say, let's run, let's go, let's do it, let's get there. And they go and they know where they're going, and they do, they get there fast. In organizational settings like the church, this makes me nervous because I'm not sure how they're doing it and if they're going to run someone over on the way. So I, not being a hare type myself at all, try to dash after them and keep up, puffing alongside them, saying, be careful, don't take that turn too fast. I'll see you at the finish line, I hope. And don't get mad if no one else is there when you get there. Then there are the tortoises, the tortoise types. The structure of most churches is quite tortoise-like because it has to be. And I hear you giggling because you know. It's an historic institution with deep roots in the local community that has a mission, a reputation, liabilities, assets, and in our case, as Unitarian Universalists, is run by a democratic process, which means that everyone on the path has to know where they are headed together and have a say and a vote about it. This can exasperate hare types, which is understandable. They ask, are we ever going to get there? I think I'm going to take a nap, my God. And they just kind of sit by the side of the path. And are you locating yourself in either of these types? Do you feeling some truth in that? So here's a thought. What if we question the whole idea of a path and a race to begin with? Last night, Jim Olivetti told a very compelling story about his tremendous, deep, and completely justifiable fear of being drafted in 1969 to go and die in Vietnam. American casualties that year were close to 12,000 Americans. Jim described how both he and the much admired American composer John Adams, who is almost exactly Jim's age, within 6 weeks, I think he said, of each other, got the same medical exemption from combat. They both tested multiple times for high blood pressure, which they contributed to intentionally. And Jim told us that he and Trudy will be singing a piece by John Adams, harmonium, in May with Chorus Pro Musica. And he said, I feel like we have come full circle. As he concluded his story about the will to live, the gift of life, the complexity of decisions that we make, and the enduring power of music and art. And I loved that, the idea that things are circles. We are not on a straight line to somewhere clear. We are also not racing. We are moving forward, yes. And there is an end of a sort. There is an end to the life that we know and can see. But as we feel particularly keenly and poignantly right now, our traditional ideas of winning are in flux. Qualities of speed and clarity can be helpful for some of our circumstances. There are times to run fast, to send out our swiftest, and to cheer them on. Go. And we also treasure the diligent, the plodding, the steady, the slow, that eventually achieve important goals. And we find within ourselves the need to cultivate tortoise qualities and hare qualities. But we are not racing in a straight line. We move in spirals, a shape that occurs in nature a lot. Go walk the beach and pick up some of those shells. That spiral that goes inward to the center and comes outward again. And we move in circles around and back. And we find meaning in that way. My God, I'm back here again. And we move in waves, brought close to shore, and then pulled back by great forces. All of what happens every day is an emergent pattern, and it's different all the time, requiring flexibility, creativity, resilience, and a vision not only forward, but also deep. Not just going this way, but deep and broad. As we move together through the space and time of our lives, perhaps the most important quality is the ability not just to continue and press ahead as individual tortoises and hares, but also to reach out and to grasp hands and flippers and paws, to hold, to encourage, to pick up the ones who are stuck at the side of the road, or maybe those who have dropped there thinking it's a good time to take a nap, to reassure one another that we are here, discerning and taking the next elegant step together.
Good morning. Wanted to give you a total so far on the amount we have pledged. We're at $33,135, so we're just slightly over our halfway mark of our goal. As you know, we had 40 tote bags for the first 40 pledges. We've got 18 tote bags left, so if you'd like to get one of those, you still have a chance. And Mike and I will be distributing, we got them, they arrived, so we're gonna be distributing those to the people who've already pledged at coffee hour. So please stop over, we'll check off your name and give you one of the bags. I think that's about everything I had to say. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike, and getting a little more comfortable being up here. It's my third time, I think. Since I came up here 3-4 weeks ago and nervously gave my first little talk, we've had a great start. Since that time, before the letters went out last week, we had 16 pledges, and almost all of them increased the amount that they pledged from the prior year, which is really great. Really appreciate that. Since the letters went out, we've had 7 more pledges. 3 of all of these pledges are brand new, which is really good. I was going to come up and talk about all the things. I was going to have you all turn to the page with the things that go on every week, but Jack said that. I was going to talk about how this is a congregational place and it's led, but Reverend Vicky said that. So I'm going to finish with a sports metaphor instead, which sports was a big star of the story last night. I don't know how many people watch a lot of sports, but at the end of a game, the commentators always talk about possessions. There's 3 minutes left. There's 22 seconds per possession. Divided up, there's 12 possessions for each team or whatever it is. Last year we had 50 pledges, and so far we have 22, which is really good. And when I look at these numbers, one of the things I think about akin to those possessions is every pledge matters. So if you're on the fence, please pledge. If you're thinking about pledging and you always pledge, let's do it now so we know what's happening and we can plan for what to do in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Thank you.